Welcome everyone to Introduction to the Study of Human Tissues. This module can be divided into 3 parts along 2 semesters, so it's year long. The first part, which we will start with today, is about cell biology and physiology. So it's about the structure of the cell and how those that is structure and the organs inside work to perform the different activities of a living cell. The second part is called histology and refers to how similar cells get organized to form tissues which are specialized in different functions. A clear example would be muscular tissues whose function is to contract and produce movement. Tissues in turn get organized to form organs, and multiple organs form a whole organism. Parts 1 and 2 will be delivered during semester 1, at the end of which you'll be assessed. Part 3 is about the development of a human being. We call this specialty human embryology. We will review that discipline during semester 2, and after that you'll be assessed again around the end of May, beginning of June. Let's go on with the first lecture now. At the beginning of every lecture you'll have a slide showing the objectives of that lecture. Normally it's my cat Sylvia that will present it. So here you have what we will review now as a help to know what you are expected to achieve after the lecture. The cell is considered the tiniest anatomical and functional unit of living things, and we can highlight 2 main characteristics about it. First, an outer membrane that isolates the inside of the cell from its environment. And second, the genetic material organized as chromosomes that contain all the information for the cell to carry out its activities, and that is transmitted to the daughter cells whenever the cell divides. Here you have a tree showing all the forms of life that exist or have existed in the past. It is called the universal phylogenetic tree. And life is believed, the variability of life we have today is believed to expand from a common origin that is known as the last universal common ancestor, or LUCA. From that common ancestor, the tree branches out to produce the 3 types of life known at the present moment, which are eukaryotes, bacteria, and archaea. The yellow dot represents all the animals, including humans. Time ago, when I was a medical student, we had the terms prokaryote, which included bacteria and archaea. And then we had a separate domain that was eukaryote. Today, these terms are still in use, but referring to the 3 groups separately is better accepted in the science field. So use bacteria, archaea, and eukarya. Pro means before, and karyos means nucleus, that is before the nucleus, implying that the kingdom of prokaryotes, that is before the nucleus, that includes the domains bacteria and archaea, are more ancient than eukaryotes that have a nucleus and are a step forward in life evolution. So prokaryotes are more simple. Bacteria, for instance, are single-celled organisms without nucleus and containing only 1 DNA loop. When dividing, they simply split into 2 smaller cells. You'll see that eukaryote division is a bit more complex. But although simple, bacteria are considered the better adapted organisms since they are found everywhere in the world. For instance, you can find them in the permanent ice of the poles or in places of high temperature like submarine volcanoes. Okay, but then how life got more complicated, giving rise to the eukaryote domain? Well, we don't really know that because no one was there to see it, but we have a theory that that theory was first proposed by Margulis in 1968. As you know, in the old times it was just like today, no? Everyone is trying to eat each other and while not being eaten. You can think of a soup where inside there is kind of a jungle, but at a microscopic scale. So about 2,500 million years ago, some bacteria that could use oxygen from the atmosphere were eaten by larger cells, but not digested, which was what normally happened. So the two bacteria established a collaborative relationship. The big one provided protection and oxygen to the small one inside that provided energy to the big one. When two organisms collaborate to increase their survival chances, it is called a symbiotic relationship. So this theory got the name of endo, meaning inside, symbiotic theory. Of course, we have some evidences that support that theory. First, the mitochondria, which would represent the tiny eaten and not digested bacteria, has its own DNA loop exactly like prokaryotes. Then the membrane proteins of a mitochondria are exactly those that found in bacteria. And also mitochondria divide by fission exactly like bacteria do. Last, we have other examples in biology today of this relationship being established, that endosymbiotic theory among plants and fungi. So let's focus on eukaryote domain that includes the kingdoms of animals, plants, mushrooms, and protists. Okay, first, eu means true, and karyos means nucleus, meaning that these cells have a nucleus. But these cells also have a plasma membrane to maintain and control a particular inner environment ideal for the cell to function properly. The content of the plasma membrane is called the protoplasm, that can be divided into the cytoplasm and the nucleus. The nucleus is separated from the cytoplasm by a nuclear membrane, or better called a nuclear envelope, and it contains the genetic information in the form of chromatin, which is the name that we give to the combination of DNA with certain proteins used to pack it and to stabilize it. Chromatin may be unpacked, so it can be read, or it can be packed in the form of chromosomes to facilitate its separation during cell division. Okay, so this is all for the introduction of the cell, and I'll see you in the next video.